Okay. Hi, I'm Brian Jacobsen, and if you haven't seen the two other videos of this three-part series, I suggest you see those. Then you'll know a lot more about who I am, or more of where I come from, and this story that I'm telling here. So take a look at those, part one, part two, and there'll probably be a link right here that shows them. So, okay. Well, and if you've already seen them, yeah, just a quick recap of where I'm at in my story here. Right now, I'm still having a house. My girlfriend has, or my ex-girlfriend then, the mother to my daughter, to our daughter, has traveled to Iceland. So I'm back on my own feet. Got to take care of a house, find out how to move from that, clean it up, and then find a way to build my economy and the business that I'm interested in. So I'm going to share with you here some of the things that has helped me transform myself into the vision that I was excited to experience more of. So when something like this happens in our lives, where family members or people we have deep emotional connection with suddenly decides to split up, there will be a big hurt inside, a big emotional it will be painful, and that will be experienced both physically, mentally, emotionally, and that's healthy. So I decided for this. Okay, I will find my way. I will find my way for being with my daughter again, to build the business that I desire, and to help people with understanding how their minds and mental health, how that's important. And especially at the time, I was mainly focused on teaching forgiveness, yoga, because that was what I was working with myself, right? I had to, or I didn't have to, but for me it helped to embrace my emotions, to embrace the love I had for someone else, even though they decided to not want to be with me in particular. And then I started actually to experience this unconditional love that I've always wanted for people to. I want people to be free as they are, and I wanted actually a relationship where we were not together because we had to, but because we wanted to, right? We had a vision together, we want something to create that we were excited about. And the love for the other person was not for them to be in a certain way, but for them allowing themselves to grow, right? So so that happened for me in that split, not like in a moment like that, but it happened over time that I found a new place and I started doing what I love, getting really good at that. I was playing poker at the time again, won some trips, some vacations, went to Las Vegas and play, everything paid, talking with my daughter over Skype at the time. And then I started developing much more insights into how is it that I'm now manifesting? What have I let go of now, which held me back before? I felt like it held me back before anyways. And I found out that my idea of how I should be for my girlfriend, that was gone. So I was free again. So actually I've put myself into a mental prison, a mental, very unhealthy place, for living up to someone else's expectations, which likely is not even their expectations, it's my expectations of their expectations to me, right? So it's self-inflicted. And that started to reveal itself more and more, and that pain started to dissolve, and I learned how to let go of things and stand in my own power again, emotionally. and also find my grounds. And I was staying at a place with a great friend who helped me out, both finding a new place in a short amount of time after the house was given to someone else. And that's where I really decided, okay, I want to dive deeper into my mind. I want to dive deeper into understanding how I work, right? How do I work? Why am I happy sometimes? Why am I sad sometimes? And how can I empower myself to take more consistent action and bringing a wonderful life for myself? But mainly something sprouted. I wanted to create a course. I wanted to create a course so people didn't have to go through what I had to go through in learning that when they have a vision, that's awesome, but there are some traps along the way, and we can avoid those traps if we knew how to use the mind, emotional understanding and awareness, and basically just how we go from a vision into action and repeat that process consistently until we are confident, until the vision actually has come true. So I wanted to do that, and so I did that. That took me on a self-discovery trip. So let's just see if the questions here that I was given. How have you faced the depression? Well, I faced the depression with, I want to find out why it's here, what caused it, how can I change it, and what are the basic elements of practices or understanding or sharing or compassion or what we have to do as human beings in order to go from depression into understanding and embrace ourselves, because that will be the first, that's the foundation for anything that want to grow. You want to embrace and appreciate yourself as you are, depending, regardless of what you were able to create before and your experience of it and your mindset and your thoughts and such. You want to embrace yourself. I wanted to embrace myself completely as I am. And that's actually opposite of what society does for us today. In many places, that is, society judges us on how is your circumstances. That's your fault. You're the one responsible. Why didn't you do? Come on, you can do better. And society is like that. And I loved the space of embracing where I'm at, learning to discover how I can bring, because I knew I had joy in myself. I knew I had something of value to give. I just somehow needed to balance it out. And that journey of self-discovery started with a trip to Iceland, where I sold everything off here in Denmark, sold everything off, took a backpack, and started, traveling and testing out these ideas, or these not ideas, this self-understanding, these insights that I had been given through meditation, through practice, through forgiveness practices, through A Course in Miracles, and also my life situation, and reflecting on what was going on, and how can I improve as a human being or as a spirit here, sharing what it is that I'm here to share and build. So sold off everything, took a backpack, and decided to walk across Iceland, go with the boat, walk across Iceland in the wintertime, 2015, and you can check out the weather in that time. So this is basically a crazy idea, and I don't recommend it for anyone. What I do recommend is, if you have something that you feel compelled to do, trust yourself, because everything worked out great for me on that travel, and I've learned so much that I would not be able to describe, but I can teach it. So yeah, started walking across Iceland, met a lot of challenges. It was winter time. I had a backpack, a winter backpack, huge sleeping bag, a big tent that was sponsored. Couldn't use the tent. It was too cold. It's nothing but rock and ice in the winter there. Had hurricanes coming over, like every third day or so. A volcano was erupting at the same time. So I had planned to walk 30 days. That did not happen. I walked for about 11 to about 13 days before I arrived to Reykjavik, which is on the opposite side of the island. So I probably walked about half the way, and then I had support on the other half of the way. I'm not going to go in too much into detail on the path here. Then, with my mindset, what I wanted to discover is, okay, I'm here. That was my mindset. I'm here. I have an idea that I want to share. I have some joy. I have something of value that I want to share. And that's it. And I want to see that grow. Just from that simple point of view. I got a body to communicate it with. I can write. I can learn a language. I can speak. I can draw. So I just wanted to, I can share my energy, my abilities, and so forth. So that's what happened. So I started basically living on the streets, went to a hostel for a few days, found out a place somehow that I could stay for free at first, because where's the money, right? There's no money. And I stayed there. After a while, I didn't get a job at first. I stayed there in goodwill. Next thing, I wanted to start up something at the university, so my ideas are exploding. I'm taking action and still experiencing some unbalances within myself, of course, in that journey of bringing my creation to life. I was on my own. Suddenly, what happened is I had to get back living on the streets. So I was doing that, sleeping. And if you know Iceland, I slept in the woods in Portland, but this is around summertime. Now it's springtime. And then I got a job. I started working with this job, but always I kept in mind, how is this job supporting me to bring my vision of who I want to help, bring my mental health courses back into life and helping people, in that manner. So things worked on and off. I started to be much more stable in my vision of what I wanted to create, more stable emotionally, and not scared of living on the streets anymore or get into that place, because already been there, wasn't that bad, wasn't that difficult to get out of that situation. But my challenges was now to start saving up money, start building an economy for myself, because my mindset about finances and economy was still messed up by all of the stuff that I experienced in my past. So had to start stabilizing that. That didn't happen so quickly, and it's still improving. So 2015 goes on, see my daughter a lot more on Iceland every 14th day, but decided over Christmas, after some experiences I got an apartment, much cheaper than the one that I found. So I found an apartment after a while on Iceland, after about 4 months on Iceland. I found an apartment, stayed there, great place, great host as well, awesome place. Not really that expensive either, but then something happened. I wanted to do kettlebell training for a training site there, and they offered me a place to stay as well, and that place was a little bit bigger, but cheaper. So hey, I want to build my finances, great, I want to try that out. But somehow that place was rented out to me without a permission. So apparently what can happen is that someone can rent out a place, which is really not his place, but his sister's place. And actually it's his sister's daughter's place, and she didn't know about it. So I tried to stay in a house where someone knocked the door one morning and asking what am I doing, at her house. So I had that experience, got back living on the streets, but got a lot of friends and network already, so didn't go directly back to the streets, but really never recovered from that and built the economy back up. So I decided I'll go back to Denmark, have a Christmas with my family, and from there on, some opportunities started to be given me. Start up a restaurant with a friend, got a place to stay in the cellar of that restaurant, and there my whole vision for what I'm working with right now, it came into my mind, clearly spot on, and what was needed to be done. Only thing was consistent effort, and how to take action was still, that was a mystery to me. That has improved a lot since. A lot of practices and methods I've developed to actually access that on a daily basis, so you will see faster results. Anyways, all what happens here in 2016 is basically me learning how to communicate my message, communicating my vision, both to myself and to my surroundings, until suddenly it will have a foundation to grow on, that I can teach, that I can earn a living, that I can financially become independent, which was my idea at the time, because now I'm back in Denmark. I want to see my daughter as often as possible, and did that very much in 2016. I traveled back even one time a month, sometimes even every 14th day, and sometimes also longer time. It also costs some money. So I tested out all my knowledge, all my insights, and they got refined, and they got more refined. And in 2017, I started teaching yoga again. I started bringing much more awareness of my courses, trying to test out how does it work online, how can I ignite people to come with me out and do what I love and excite themselves. Got into a relationship again. Oh, so actually, there's a great man who helped me out with a place to stay after the things in the restaurant didn't work out. Great man helped me out. He asked me what I'm doing. He knew me back before, with my time with my girlfriend that I had a daughter with, and before I got my daughter, he knew me also back then. He helped me out with a place to stay for a short amount of time. I developed all my company skills, all my things, found a relationship. That one didn't work out, and suddenly I see myself I got help from a great man. I got help from my mom. She helped me also to stay a little bit at her place, earning as much money as I could, so I could from there on get an apartment and start living actually the dream life that I was intrigued of. So I learned how to embrace myself, trust my ideas, and take action on them. But in that path, there was a lot of things that I was unaware of. So I experienced a lot of still bumps. Still I was somewhat emotionally attached to the results, right? I knew now that in order for having a great life, I need to see a vision of that, feel how that will be, and start having that energy into everything that I do. But then, of course, I set myself up for, okay, this has to happen this week, this has to happen that week, and the next week has to be like this. And if they were not that, I would doubt myself for a while, and that would bring, that would stop the momentum. So what happened is, actually, I get into an apartment, and the expenses was way too high. I couldn't manage to get enough money. I had to talk with the landlord, can't pay, experience how it is to to not pay, and how I felt about that, what I could do about that, and at the same time, still had to create my course, the insights that I've got, and I figured out why am I experiencing all this shit, and that is of one little purpose. I needed the wisdom to use my tools in the situation of those I'm going to help. Okay? So in order to help someone, which I had decided to do with forgiveness, with creating a vision and such, I had to go through all that shit. all that mental stress and the depression, and oh my God, I could have like a high, and I would be, everything was working and everything is going great, and then suddenly just one thing wouldn't work and boom, I would be back down. But I would learn how to handle that. And my downs, so before, right, that's the line of normal, high, high, and go very low. And I would stay low. That was the old way, right? And then blame something and go even lower, and then have to go up a little bit and not really getting so high, not momentum, and go low again. So that would be my mental health state before. Now, with the new practices and my new foundation and understanding, I would be normal, I would be high and more high, more high. Then I would go low, and I would quickly realize, oh, that's not for me. And I would go high again and back. And then instead of going the low, low, I would go like to normal and understand, hey, wait a minute, just embrace what is, just relax, you got this. And then going back up again. So I created momentum and growth with my practices. And that made me the confidence that, hey, this is really, really for someone to use. And I would love to share that. How can I do that? And so now I have an online course for people that also have the desire of bringing their vision to life, to embrace themselves, but also embrace themselves because they have joy. They want to share in their relationships, build a business. I learned a lot about how to do that. All the things that you have to go through, and not the tools, right? Not so much specifics on how to write a plan or anything like that. Well, I got that too, and not the specifics either of what are the laws about it. More into, if you want to build something, okay? Just imagine you want to create something. That can be a relationship, a business, a healthy lifestyle. If you want to build that, first step overall is to, you gotta see that. You gotta see that intention super clearly. The more clear you're about it, the more you feel in your body about it, the more you can take action in that vision. And that vision will start to come true. So my course is very simple, vision, action, reflection, but there's a lot steps into it, and you can find the link for that below as well. Yeah, so the way I mainly, so here are some of the questions, right? How did I face my challenge? I faced it in a way to create more awareness of what I am and who I am and who I want to be, and deal with it in a curious way of developing an understanding and also something to share at the same time for anyone experiencing that. And how did I feel? I felt awesome. I felt awesome, and then suddenly, boom, an idea would grab my mind and I would just fall down. Just an idea. How did I cope? Well, at first, before I was aware of anything of how the mind works, I was smoking weed, drinking, partying. Who supported me? Well, the fun part is, the best support, everyone supported me in a way. I met the right people at the right time to learn the right things for the right reasons. But genuinely on Iceland, there was a lot of kind-hearted people there, offering me their home, helping me out in the situation I was in, but mainly just inviting me into their homes. Wow, that's something really big. Yeah, so my mom helped me out, my dad helped me out, asked how I was doing, did I need money? I didn't ask for help, I didn't tell anyone really what's going on. I was just on a mission. So yeah, great friend helped me out.